Welcome to another exciting episode of the Future CFO Podcast, where we dive into leadership, career management, and the latest trends shaping the future of finance. This podcast is brought to you by FutureCFO.info, your go-to platform for practical finance and CPD courses.
Hello, Mr. Bah. Welcome to the Future CFO Podcast.
Thank you very much, Ibrahima. It's good to be here.
Indeed, it's our pleasure having you today discussing about digitalization, especially how the SMEs can use it, focusing on the Gambia, but I'm sure the other parts of the sub-region will benefit because we share similar challenges. But before we go into that, I think it would be nice for us to know who is Mr. Pa Malick Bah. So if you can give us a bit of a background to yourself.
Thank you very much, Ibrahima. My name is Pa Malick Bah. I am a banker, and I am also a crypto and AI enthusiast. For those that know me, I love doing financial education, creating more awareness, and improving markets. In my spare time, I love watching YouTube videos on how AI can improve how I do things. I also watch crypto trends, what's happening in crypto space, and all that. And I'm also Gambian. I was born and raised in the Gambia, and happened to be in Nigeria due to work duties. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that's a humble introduction. I think for the benefit of our viewers and the audience, Mr. Bah was recently awarded as a digital innovator during the Gambia Falls CFO Conference and Award. This came through due to some of these points he has mentioned. He's been involved in many automations, many digitalization projects, both in his core job and also helping others outside this core job. And I think we go into the topic of the day, Mr. Bah. A lot of SMEs, business owners would want to digitalize part of their operations at a certain reasonable cost or without having complex system in place. Now, my first question to you would be, if a small business owner want to implement some element of digitalization in their business, what is that one area they could consider to start with without spending a lot in terms of budgets?
That's a very interesting question. And I think before digitizing, as a business owner, the first thing that you need to do is have an overview and control of your business. What I mean by overview, you should have a complete view of how your business works and ask certain questions. Where are the pain points? Where am I wasting time? Review your process, design a nice process, because you are the business owner, you understand your business more. So that is the first thing you need to do, is to design a good business process, have an overview of your business, then you can decide on the tool that you want to use to automate those processes.
Yeah, this is a very important point, especially even the non-business owners, for those who may be in operations or for accountants. And I 100% agree with you. Sometimes companies want to digitalize, but they don't know where to start. And you can't start if you don't understand your key process and what are the pain points that you can take care of. So if for some people, maybe their sales process, or some it may be their buying process. Now, we know digitalization, it could save time. Often we heard it, when you digitalize, you can save time. But beyond saving time for entrepreneurs, are there other benefits that we can sort of encourage them to think about digitalizing their business process? Are there other benefits that we could put to this SMEs? Because some people just think, oh, you bring another application, another IT thing. How do we encourage them on other benefits that are there beyond that of saving time?
Sure. We all live in a digital age. So if you digitize your business, you're building an online presence. That is very key. Having an online presence increase your credibility. People get to know you, and you get to gain people's trust. For example, if you approach a bank or investors to raise funds, because you have a strong online presence, they've been seeing track record of what you've been doing, those records speaks volumes for you, right? So you build credibility, you build trust, and then you have control of what you do. So once you have control, you can build a sustainable business.
You talk about something very important on this online presence, and I will take you a bit back on that side of digitalization. Since we could have the operations base or the marketing base. So the online presence, from what you explained, links to the marketing and the sales opportunity it can create you. But I know many companies, they can have presence on Facebook, TikTok. Can you talk about a bit how can companies use the information that are in their social media profile? Because I know that they have dashboard. How can they use that as an SME for you to do a meaningful business decision based on what is in their social media circle from a data point of view?
Thank you. Now, if you look at how generations evolve, before people used to, listen to radio for information and all that. Then we evolved to TVs. Now people are on social medias, TikTok, you name them. So if you're an SME and you have, let's say, a business TikTok account where you can meet your target audience. Now, if you deploy, AI can help you generate, okay, how many people are viewing my content? And AI can help you create a dashboard and give you an overview in terms of the marketing aspect. So AI can help you filter all your social media handles and see how people are responding to what you're showing them. Now, in terms of internal business processing, you can also deploy tools like AI tools that can help you understand how your business works, right? It creates dashboards. So from just a view, you can just see, okay, what is driving my business? Where am I doing well? Where do I need to improve on? And these are all automated tasks. You don't even need to do much. Once you set it up, it's easy. It's just for you to monitor and see valuable information that would help you make informed decisions to grow your business or to sustain your business.
Okay, that's key. And you talk on something about the use of AI when you get that data from your social media profile. But before I go to AI, I will look or try to break down the example of what people are responding to. Because you may post 4 or 5 different videos. There are some videos that may have more view than the others. Or you may post different message on Facebook. Some may have more views or more reactions or comments than the others. But apart from the views or the likes on Facebook's, what other metric small business owners should be careful of? Because we learn what we call vanity metrics, because sometimes you may have views, but are those views really making money for you, or are they converting to the client in that form? What are some of the metrics you think they should either look at, or they should focus more to ensure they capture the sales?
Okay. You have the marketing aspect and you have your internal processing. So in the beginning, I talked about first, before you deploy any tool, you have to understand and have an overview of your business. And then once you have that overview of your business, you can deploy tools that will give you very solid statistics about your business performance. Maybe if it is sales revenue, you can see it on the dashboard. What is driving the sales revenue? Is it that, or the products that you're selling, people really like it? Now, in terms of how you would know whether people really like what you are selling, right? Aside the numbers growing, the social media aspect where the AI can generate, okay, this particular, for example, this particular product I posted maybe on this particular day, it had maybe 1 million views. People reacted to it. People had comments on it. And you can even get feedback from those things where people say, oh, we like this product, but if you had done it this way, it would have been better that way. Those are all data. And the AI can get that for you. And that you can analyze and see that, okay, this is what my customers are saying, and this is what I am doing. And based on what they're saying, you can tailor what their needs to what you're doing. And then you can monitor the progress of that. because now you have access to real-time data on what your customers are saying about you, and you have also real-time data on how your sales is performing. So you can do analysis to see the correlation. People really like what you're doing. Is that translating to sales? Okay, sales gone down. What is happening? You can also refer to the data on your social media and see why your sales are going down. Is it that people no longer like what you're offering, or is there something wrong that you're doing, right?
That's interesting. And I like the point that you return me back to the original plan of what is your pain point, what is your objective. So this emphasizes the fact that when one is trying to digitalize, you should always have a goal. You don't just probably wake up
Follow the
and
trend.
post videos or look at the trend that may not be in line with your own business trend. Some people even paid for promotions that they don't have a proper objective of paying for a particular post on TikTok or on Facebook. And I think that is very key. Now, we've spoken about tools. I think maybe 4 or 5 years ago, you can have few tools. But I think today, with the advent of AI, you have hundreds of tools that are there one could use. And I don't know for a lot of business owners, but I don't like when there is too much of option personally because they confuse you.
You
Everybody,
confused.
everybody talks about their own is the best. So
Right.
you look at all the AI to one who come, oh, yesterday they beat this one, last month this one is on top of the rank. So I think for what I want to get to, for a smaller business owner, what are a few tools you could recommend they can adopt even with a free version or paid version, but few tools you recommend based on what you know, based on your own experience and research into these tools?
Yeah. Thank you. So for most business owners currently, especially in the Gambia, most of them use Microsoft applications, right? And with Microsoft Excel and then with the Microsoft Copilot, that is the Microsoft inbuilt AI, you can do a lot, right? You can do a lot. You can start by structuring your data, right? Like I talked about, understanding your process. Once you understand your process, for example, okay, how do I record sales? Okay, now I want to deploy an Excel that would capture data, and then I have a neat record of my sales. In terms of your inventory, okay, maybe I am low on supplies of what I'm selling, I need to top up. So once you have a proper recording of those things, once you deploy that technology, like it can be an Excel, an automated Excel, you can use Copilot and then ask it to build you a dashboard. You can use Copilot, and it's just a simple language that you're asking the AI. So Copilot is a good tool, or you can use ChatGPT, which is very common, right? You can ask it to design an Excel for you or a dashboard for you because you understand your process. So just describe what your process is. This is what I'm selling. I am maybe into building materials, and I would like to have a small system, right, that will help me see my inventory, record my sale, give me a dashboard that will show me how my inventory is and how my sales are performing. So those are very basic. You can just focus on those basic and monitor it, keep improving it until it gets better. Then you start to deploy other maybe tools or other advanced tools. Do not chase the cloud like Ibrahim mentioned. Today, you have a good tool that comes out. The next day, something better comes out. So you just be here and there. But as a small business enterprise, all you need is a proper recording system. You can automate it with Excel. If you don't even know Excel, you can ask AI, ChatGPT, this is what I want. And ChatGPT will guide you or build it for you, right? You also have Claude, which is also an AI, very good in building things. It can also build, whatever you want, right? I personally use Claude to build applications. So sometimes you'll be amazed some of the things that you can build. And some also organizations started deploying AI, right? Like where I work, we have AI tools, Microsoft Copilot, right, which is embedded in the daily Microsoft applications that we use, which you can actually type in plain text and ask it what you want or feed it with information. Like I said, you are the expert, you are the business owner, you understand your business, you understand how it works. Just tell it how it works and tell it to improve it or automate A, B, and C, because maybe you waste time in analyzing the data, so you want it to analyze the data. Maybe you waste time recording sales, you can ask it to improve on that. How do you improve on recording sales? So these are some of the tools that you can start with. Like I said, start basic. Make sure you have a structure, a working structure, monitor it and build on it. Then over time, you become more advanced. As time goes on, you can use AI to even do most of your operational work. So all you do is the critical thinking and decision making.
Yeah, the critical thinking and decision making. But before that, the issue of structure, I see always keeps on coming. And what I learned from that throughout this conversation so far is that structures are important. It will
Very
be very
important.
difficult for you to digitalize if you don't have a structure. So that operational structure for an organization will be key. And I will take you a bit from maybe this will be more for medium and large organizations. Since we're talking about SMEs, or medium size could be impacted by this. Based on what I observe in the Gambia, the government also is pushing efforts to do digitalizations. We know central bank in the banking sector had played a very key role with the advent of many fintech. Interesting I've read is what the GRA is trying to do, the Gambia Revenue Authority, which is the e-invoicing. So if e-invoicing is being implemented, it's basically would mean that the medium size, whatever definition GRA will give, need to have a system in place. So how does digitalization can help companies to achieve the regulatory compliance? I know you've done a lot of regulatory reporting, you've done a lot of automation, but how do you think in pushing to digitalize your operations can help companies to comply, whatever sector they may be?
Okay. So when it comes to compliance and when it comes to issuing a new system, it's a bit dicey, I would say, because it involves human interaction, human decision making, and human acceptance. So, for example, if you roll out a new system and people are not well trained on it, people don't really see the benefit, people will be reluctant to use it. So, as an SME, I think the first thing when you're rolling out a system is to show the benefit. What is the system going to do? How is it going to save people's time? How is it going to improve on business efficiency? And how will it drive the business growth, right? So these are key things that needs to be out there if you're implementing a system. Now, if you have a regulator that shows or brings up a system that enhances efficiency, at a small business, for you to be compliant and stay relevant, you have to look at your own internal process, like I said, and build something that would align to what the regulator is trying to do. For example, if you're a small business, now the regulator is now introducing e-invoicing, you can also do something similar, right? You can, like I said, you have free tools out there like AI tools. Even if you don't know, once you chat it and ask it that this is what I want, guide me on how to achieve it, you would see guide on how you can implement what the regulator is trying to do and stay compliant. Now, if you implement this is what will happen. For example, your records become cleaner. And then in terms of building credibility, once your records are accurate, you can speak confidently on the numbers that you're showing. And if your revenue authority is also digitizing, you also need to digitize so that you align with what is happening, so that you don't have to be going back and forth. For example, you can file a tax, they'll tell you, oh, your tax returns are wrong because you're manually doing it. So automating that part of your business so that when you go or file your taxes, the regulator would see, there will be a lot of transparency, there won't be any back and forth, and then you build more credibility, and then you build more trust. And that's more business for you. If you digitize your business, you will avoid fines because now your reportings are more accurate. The way you capture your reports now are automated. You have the chance to participate in, let's say there are grants or competitions where you can promote your business. If they look at your tax compliance and all of that, or government-led initiatives, you'll be invited because you're digital, you're compliant because of the systems that you have in place.
Yeah, Indeed, that can help to minimize your costs since you are complying. But more importantly, the last point, the opportunities for you to benefit from grants or other source of funding because your records are in certain reputable form. Well, let's talk a bit about from your background. I could see dollars here, I could see Bitcoin on the photo behind you, which I know is crypto. So let's talk a bit about what is this, because I know this crypto thing is also about digitalization effort.
Yeah.
But what do you do as a person? Because most people may have seen your postings on social media. What is this about?
Okay, thank you for this. In fact, this is an area that is very close to the heart. People that know me know that I am so much into crypto. I love crypto and AI. So crypto is basically, in short, is cryptocurrencies. It is actually digital money, I would say. Money has evolved from the cowrie shells to the gold and silver coin to the paper money that we use, euro, dollar. And now we have the cryptocurrencies. Some people call it internet money, right? Now, this is a space where I feel comfortable creating ideas, creating awareness, and helping a lot of people grow in this space. Like I said, it's a trend happening. Now, countries are now racing to be the crypto champ of the world. We see the US pushing for Clarity Act. We see Russia issuing frameworks. We see the Central Bank of Nigeria now giving license to crypto farms on a sandbox. So all of these things are happening because this is now where finance is moving into. Now, with crypto, you have different things that you can do on it. There's an investment arm on crypto. There's a payments arm on crypto, right? And there's also a digital enterprise, I would say, where you can go and build on it. So for example, if you are a small business organization or you are a sole proprietor, you can advance your payment method. So if you're in an economy where your finance or your digital finance is not that advanced, you can only do maybe, or you can only sell within that geographical location. Crypto now helps you send beyond borders. You can sell whatever you're selling beyond where you are. For example, we have what we call stable coins. These are cryptocurrencies tied to fiat currencies. For example, we have the USDT, which is the US dollar theta, USDC. So all of these are tied to the US dollar. So one USDT is equals to $1, right? Just like how we have our dollars, euro, pound, you also have them in the crypto space. Now, as a finance person or as an SME owner, it's quite important you pay attention to this side because finance rails are moving towards this. We see big banks, building on these rails to enhance payment efficiencies. For example, if I'm sending crypto to, let's say, someone in Gambia, it would just take less than a minute. Whilst if you compare it with the traditional finance, where you send from one location to another, it takes maybe 2 to 3 business days. If you send it on a Friday, that's very unfortunate because banks will close on Fridays, right? On weekends, so you have to wait. But with crypto, there's nothing like weekend. There's nothing like public holiday. Once you send it, the other person receives it instantly. And I think that helps businesses thrive more because you now manage your liquidity, right? For example, if you're a bank or you're doing money transfers, you're a bureau de change. If you send money using crypto, the other person receives it immediately, right? So you can move funds between geographic locations instantly, while if you remain in the traditional space without upgrading, if someone sends money, you have to wait for that money to settle, to come back here so you can actually make certain payouts, or you make provisions to pay. Once that money comes, then you fill in that gap, right? So it's a very interesting space, and I would say that there's a lot to learn, especially if you're in a market where your market is not exposed to the global financial market. Crypto exposes you to that market. For example, now with exchanges, you can use crypto to buy shares of US stocks like Apple. You can buy Apple stock, shares of Apple. You can buy shares of Nvidia whilst you're in Gambia, right? And now what I see other builders are doing, and even some ideas that I have is you can be in Africa, you can be in Gambia, buy maybe a Nigerian bond or a Nigerian T-bill, or be in Nigeria, buy a Gambian bond or buy a Sierra Leone T-bill, and I see the possibility of that happening if crypto comes into full force and there's regulation and frameworks around it.
That's a very interesting area. And now for both AI and crypto, I believe they have different risks that we should also be mindful of.
Yeah.
Let's take them one after the other. We looked at AI. What are some of the risks that the users or the business owners should be mindful of when it comes to AI, and how can they manage those risks? At least maybe one or two, then we will move to that of crypto.
Okay, so we'll start with AI. So when we hear AI and AI is coming into our workspace, some of us will think, oh, AI is coming to replace me. So it becomes a risk for, let's say, if you're a business owner, your employees will now start to think that, oh, you want to let them go, you want to replace them with machines, AI will come and do all the work. And I think that is one risk business owners need to really manage. AI is not here to replace you, right? It can replace certain functions that you do, but AI still needs human in the loop. So when I say human in the loop, it's whatever AI is processing, it needs the human to make that judgment and give some level of approvals, right? So if you're deploying AI in your business, you should manage this risk of letting AI do everything, right? AI can hallucinate sometimes. It can go wrong. And also data protection, data management. If you give AI everything, AI now has everything. Someone somewhere can find a loophole and use AI to receive some of the information that you have gladly dished out there. And some of those information may be very sensitive. So these are risks that business owners need to properly manage before they deploy AI in their business. One is the data and data sensitivity of your business, what you're uploading on AI or you're giving AI. You need to review it and ensure you also build guardrails. If you're deploying AI, let the AI not do everything. There are guardrails that you need to put in place to ensure that you protect yourself, your business, and your employees. Now, when it comes to crypto, right?
Right.
So when it comes to crypto, it's a fairly new space, especially for Gambians, right? We just started exploring crypto and most of the time what we use crypto is for payments, right? Remittances, or I have a brother here, let me send it because it's faster. And some also use it for learning because they're now into trading, forex trading, and some of these platforms require you to fund it using crypto. Now, when you're doing that, first thing first, crypto is money, right? So when you're dealing with money, it's just like how you protect your money. So you need to be sure who you're dealing with, because there's no regulator in the crypto space. There's nothing like, oh, a central bank, if you scam me, I'll run to this bank. No, crypto is like the internet, it's out there. Everybody has access to it. Some people can be anonymous. Now you need to understand who you're dealing with. So the risk there is you need to be sure the person you're trading with, your counterparty, is a legit person. The funds they're transacting is not a fraudulent fund, and it's compliant with maybe the AML and then CTF policies around the world. And you also need to understand how it works, because some people get scammed from crypto because you're trying to learn. If the other person is a scam and knows that, oh, this person doesn't really understand how this works, they can come up with different investment schemes. We've seen that in Gambia, I think some time back. We've seen fake companies coming into the space where they offer Ponzi schemes, and they will use AI, they will use crypto to fund their accounts. Like I said, because there's no central authority, they want you to send it to an anonymous wallet in the form of investing. And if you are unaware of these things, you can lose a lot of money. And we've seen a lot of people lose a lot of money. I operate in this space, and I've also helped a lot of people. Some of them recovered some of their money. Some couldn't recover because the money is gone. And with crypto, like I said, once you send it, there's no central authority to recall it. The money is gone. So you need to understand your counterparty risk. You need to understand the market risk. And you also need to understand how the crypto works so that you don't fall victim of maybe sharing your wallet address, your wallet secret phrases, because those are some of the technicalities that you need to understand and to protect yourself and your money.
And I think part of that, for the case of crypto, part of that risk management also requires you to operate with reliable, well-known exchanges where you open your account. Because you go and open an account with some, I think we've had exchange disappearing with people's wallets. So I think for today, globally, we know Binance is one, and I know they have done some awareness program targeting Africa, and some of them targeting Gambia specifically, because I think today they are the biggest wallets.
Even Binance operates in Gambia because they support the Dalasi. So they have what they call Binance Academy. There's like a university in Binance where you learn everything about crypto and blockchain for free. So people can just sign up and learn for free how it works, what crypto is all about, what's the technology behind it, and how to get started.
That's very important. A platform people have to learn. Basically, people have to learn if you're going into the digital space in any form. And you spoke about the AI, and I think that's the risk of people not reviewing what the AI is doing. You may be the business owner, you know the business, but when AI brings out something for you, you need to have a second look at it, and that's where we need the human being. There were cases, I think, in Australia, where a big audit firm, a global well-known audit firm, had a government contract, and they used AI to generate what, like you said, hallucinated. It gave reference to cases which never existed. That was a disappointment for that particular firm. I remember in the early days of ChatGPT, I've tested ChatGPT with some accounting knowledge. It was giving me false answers. I know they are becoming more and more better, but it's like having somebody who doesn't want to feel I'm wrong. So if he doesn't have the correct answer, it will give you whatever he thinks is the best guesswork. People should be mindful of those things. Now, you spoke about some of the helps you have done for people to recover some of their lost assets through this digital trading related matters. And I know for that and many other awareness that you have been doing contributed to the recent award that was given to you by the Gambia CFO conference and award ceremony that took place in May 2026. I wanted to just take a bit on that. What were some of the observations you've seen people are doing in the digital world, whether it's SMEs or individuals, that can also open them to the risks of the fraud that happens online? Maybe there are things people are doing. It's not just opening an account, maybe there are basic things. So to give you an example, I remember in the early days in Nigeria, people were calling someone and they give you their OTP numbers. So somebody call and say, oh, I'm from the bank. But maybe similar things are happening in Gambia. You are close to those spaces than myself. So I thought it would be good to talk about some of those experiences without going to specific cases.
Okay. Thank you for this. And I think this is a timely one because currently I learned that there's a lot of WhatsApp hacking that's going on. So people will hack your WhatsApp. And once they hack into your WhatsApp, basically how they do it is through the OTP. So they will try and reset your WhatsApp. And the OTP will come to you and they will call you as a support person or some random person. Or they will send you an invite link and say, oh, there's a meeting happening by so and so time. Please join in, click this or that. So once you do it, they take over your WhatsApp. Now, once they take over your WhatsApp, they go to your contact list. They see your chats. They see everything that you've been doing on your WhatsApp. Now, they'll go to people that you know, your loved ones, family members, friends, business partners, and then they start chatting with them. And remember, they're using your WhatsApp, so it will sound like you. They send a message. Let's say Ibrahim is my business partner. They send a message to Ibrahim. Maybe looking at our chat history, know that, oh, there's a deal that we needed to conclude. Oh, please send the money here. And then they give you an account number. And then you send that money there. Or they use crypto and say, oh, please, can you send it to this wallet address? right? So that it's faster because the turnaround time is almost instant. Now, the risk with that is once you don't protect your WhatsApp, you get your WhatsApp hacked. You have expanded the risk, not just to you, but beyond you now, because now they have access to reach out to your business partners. They have access to reach out to your family members, friends, and all that. And some of them will be begging for money. Some of these scammers go to your family members and beg for money, act as if you are in an emergency situation and then you need urgent help. You are not with your phone, maybe you get robbed and all of those stories. And then they'll give you one fake account or one, maybe a POS agent account and say, please send the money there while they will withdraw it. And once they withdraw it, that's the end of that money. Now, some of the people in this crypto space also were caught up in these things, not just in the crypto space, even those in the banking space, right? So let's say they hack your WhatsApp or you fall vulnerable to some of their schemes. They will tell you, we have a business opportunity here for you. We'll pay you maybe $50,000 a month or even $100,000 a month. And then you start seeing money coming into your account. So they use you like a money mule. So a money mule is someone they'll scam someone, put it in your account, scam another person, put it in your account, and use your account to externalize the funds, either through bank transfers, or they use it to buy digital assets, or use it to buy even dollar cash, right? They can do all of these things. So this is where it is very important. People need to be aware of some of these things because cyber criminals are getting more sophisticated, especially when AI is now deployed. And if you're a business user, you don't really understand some of the tools that you're using, or you have given total control to maybe an AI to run your business. If there's a vulnerability on your systems, scammers or hackers can exploit it. And for example, let's say you automate payments. If someone comes to you, buy something, you automatically pay or do some of those things. So if there's a loophole there and they exploit it, it's going to be devastating because the amount of money they can process via that will be so high. So that's why I mentioned earlier that when you're deploying these tools, it's always important you put guardrails, right? Guardrails helps you manage some of these risks. For example, you don't allow the AI to authorize payments. So when it comes to payments, let you, the business owner, authorize it, right? Via your approved channels, either your signature, or whatever channel that you use to authorize payments, not the AI authorizing the payments. And also your platforms that you're using, you always, like I said, you always have that human in the loop. You need the human in the loop because some activities may be suspicious, right? So the AI may miss it, but the human may not miss it. And you can save yourself and your business a lot of money. You can save your business from regulatory fines, and you can save your business from being used as a vehicle to commit crimes. Right? Like most of this WhatsApp hacking I mentioned, they're just using you as a vehicle to commit crime. They impersonate you, use your accounts, use your crypto wallets, use your bank accounts to commit all of these fraud. And the painful part is when they do that, because they did it in your name, it's hard to defend yourself, right? When there's an investigation and everything ties to you, the WhatsApp communication is from your WhatsApp, the transactions, money coming into your account is in your name, and you externalizing the funds, everything is in your name. So everything ties down to you. So it will be very difficult. I know some people that found it very difficult with the police, especially in the Gambia, because we now have a cybercrime unit, and I think they're doing very well. There's this guy called Mr. Cham. I think he's doing a good job there, raising awareness on some of these cyber crimes. So it's a painful one for those that are not aware, but as we keep speaking about it, people keep learning and people try and understand how to secure some of these things, especially the WhatsApp. You can activate a two-factor authenticator so that if it gets hacked, it will ask for a two-factor authenticator, which can give you an extra security level to manage your WhatsApp and also to manage some of these risks.
No, I think this is a very important point and advice because I brought this up at the end of the day. When we go into digital space, we are going with different knowledge, different experience, different background, and more importantly, different intention. You may be going there innocently. You want to make life for yourself, for your business. Somebody else is looking for those innocent people and take advantage of them. So it's very important. And I think we will see how best, if it's available, that Mr. Cham, we can invite him for a discussion here in terms of awareness on cybercrime, because it's becoming more and more a global problem. People are losing their monies. So when the SMEs are digitalizing, it's important they also consider those risks. Like you mentioned, one, you said, I will put it like, don't be greedy, because somebody just send money to your account and tell you, I'll pay you amount that you cannot make in a month or in a week. The person said, I'll pay you that in a daily basis. You should be very suspicious of that kind of transactions. And the money is coming through your account, is leaving. You should be careful. Two good news. Come and click on this, join here, we'll double you. Those kind of actions without judging people. But in the financial world, we can see it's a bit of greedy. I think when you look at it from that point of view, we can minimize our risks. And the links you click on, we should be mindful. So it's important we are very careful in this digital age. Now, I wanted to talk a bit about, for those who want to take, should I say, interest in the digital space, what are some of the places they can learn? I know in the era of crypto, you talk about Binance Academy, but in the general digitalization effort for an SME who want to learn a bit about it, are there any other place that you can recommend that they can follow in trying to improve their own digital literacy?
Okay, so the first is to look at the regulatory bodies. You have to check on maybe the US government. They're working on a crypto framework. Nigeria, they're also working on a crypto framework. So you have to follow these trends so that when you're going into this space as a business owner, you're well guided, right? You can follow people like me. I have a WhatsApp channel. I have a TikTok channel where I create some of this awareness. You can follow it for free. You can learn a lot about crypto and AI following me and Coinbase, Binance. So these are, like I said, they've been in this space for a while now. So these are credible sources that you can follow and start learning on your own until you get more comfortable into doing more advanced things in this space.
Okay, that's really very helpful. One of the things we would observe in the Gambia in terms of increase in digitalization is payment digitalization, other than the crypto. We now see a lot of mobile wallets that are operating in the country. I know this wallet also do have their own problems. From my experience and some of the people I've spoken to, their experience, you may pay somebody and the payment can be reversed, or probably payment didn't go through, you just get an alert. What has been your experience on the local digital payment platform that you can advise SMEs to be careful of as they onboard or start accepting those wallet payments in the country? We have a number of key players in the country.
Okay. So it's a valid question regarding how fintech is growing, and most of these fintechs, some fintechs that I see where you can make a payment and then at the same time reverse it. I think that's a big risk that scammers can explore. For example, I can walk into your shop and buy an item and then pay you and just step out of your shop and reverse the funds. Now, what that would mean is you're posing a lot of risks to business people, right? So if I'm a business partner, if I'm a businessman or an SME, I also need to look at the payment options that I use. So if there's a payment option where users can pay and reverse, that's a significant risk to me, because you can buy and just go around the corner and reverse the money, right? And that is very significant. And I think it's something also payment service providers should also look at in terms of helping SMEs, because if you're deploying your technology for businesses to use, and this poses certain risk, this needs to be fixed. So if a payment is made, before you reverse it, it's just like when you go to banks, you make a payment. Even if you make a payment now, and then you ask let's say the cashier to reverse it, they will ask you certain questions, and they will also like to reach out to the owner of the account to confirm whether they can reverse it. So that is more secure than, let's say, you building a fintech app where people can make transactions and then reverse it at the same time.
It's important for SMEs to understand those features with the wallet solution provider to know how it works. And again, not everybody will have the good intention. And you may receive your alerts now, and the person goes, I don't know how many seconds or minutes they give them, but the person may have gone with the goods, and the next minute they reverse it. So it's important again for people to be aware.
In fact, to mention, there's a practical example where some P2P traders in the Gambia have experienced this a lot, right? Where someone would pay you for, let's say, a USDT. After you hand over the USDT, they reverse wallet payment. And then you start going back and forth here and there. So it's something that is happening.
So it's something I think is in the sub-region. I've had in other countries, the digitalization effort is helping, but they are the bad guys, if you call it that way, who also get involved and they do it deliberately. So as the business owner, you need to understand the solution you are implementing. You ask some of these questions to the provider. You don't just keep on installing. And one of the things I had one of the apps providers does is you could also transfer. If you pay to me now, you can transfer to my sort of a lockup account, an account which the auto reverse passing cannot take out from. So these are things people should look out for, features some providers are putting in their system. But it's really key for us to have this awareness, because we are dealing with a lot of young people in the country, and they will do it anyway. Whether they are going to be in digital space, and the SMEs has to be there. But it's important we understand the risks involved in that.
Right.
Yeah, as we move towards the closing before your final remark, I wanted to know, so if based on what we've discussed here so far, if someone want to take one practical advice that they can implement this next weekend, especially in digitalizing their business, what would be that one practical advice you would give to them?
Thank you. So as an SME, I think one practical advice I would give is for this coming weekend, just sit down, understand your business, and build simple dashboards, simple, recording system. You can use Excel, build tables, and then try and link the tables so that you have proper recording. So you start with that, and then build over time, build on it, and then you can start deploying maybe other tools like AI. But for now, a practical one that you can do, I think most of you have Excel. You can just open your Microsoft Excel, create tables, create sheets, maybe sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. Sheet 1, you can call it maybe your inventory, depending on your business type. That's why I say you need to understand your business first. So depending on your business type, you can create a recording system there. So once you have the recording system, then from there you can build dashboards that would link all of the data that you're building. I think that's a good start for anyone that is running an SME business before you start deploying more advanced tools.
I think that's very practical. Understand your business, keep some kind of record around it, and have an idea of what you want to record. Then you can move to the next stage where you consider other tools. But like you said, many of us have Microsoft Excel access as SMEs, or you may have a Google Sheet, whatever is available to you can implement that. So, Mr. Malick Bah, before we come to the conclusion, what will be your general closing remarks to the people who are moving to digital space as individuals? Most SMEs are individuals. There is almost no difference between the person and the SME. Most of them are sole proprietorship. What advice do you have for them in the digital space in general?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ibrahima. So the digital space is here to stay. I think that is where the world is moving to. And one key advice I would say is have an open mind. Do not chase cloud. Do not follow all of these trends. Learn on a case-by-case basis. Right? Have an open mind. Explore some of these things. Some of this, especially the digital asset space, you need to explore it and get hands-on. You can't just be reading and say you want to understand it, everything. Maybe start with having a wallet, download a wallet, maybe from Binance on your app store, or you can download a Trust wallet and just create an account and see how it works. You can even put like a $50 or $100 worth of crypto there and just have a feel of how it works. So you keep learning from there. It's just like you going to university, you pay tuition fee, right? So you invest in it. So invest small amounts to learn how it works so that you have a general knowledge on how these things work. By the time it gets more advanced, you're already aware of how these things work. And you can ride on the trend. Your business can adapt. You can also adapt and be part of the movement that is happening in the digital space.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bah. It's been a very nice conversation with you on the digitalizations, innovations, and a bit of crypto space that will be relevant to Gambian SMEs. Thank you once again for joining this podcast. There's a Future CFO supported by Agro Ventures and Gambia CFO Conference and Award Platform.
Thank you. And thank you.